Good day. So we will be talking about robots and other motion control systems. First, we will be discussing about this statement where Nikola Tesla said, in the 21st century, the robot will take the place which slave labor occupied in ancient civilization. So here, sinasabi lang ni Nikola Tesla or ang kanyang prediction na darating na 21st century, mapapalitan na natin lahat ng mga robots, okay, yung mga slave labor. So, ito yung mga nakikita natin sa mga pabrika, okay, sa mga industrial. So, doon natin mostly siya nakikita kung saan yung mga repeating process, okay, ay pinapalitan na natin ng mga robots or yung mga programmed machines. First, we have the robot concept, and we will be discussing about the robot concepts. And under that, we have the robot software. Robot software is the set of coded commands or instructions that tell a mechanical device and electronic system known together as a robot what tasks to perform. Robot software is used to perform autonomous tasks. Many software systems and frameworks have been proposed to make programming robots easier. So, simply said that robot software, ito yung mga nagbibigay ng decision making or nagbibigay ng idea sa isang mechanical device kung ano yung task na kanyang ipe-perform. We have the four most common types of robots. First, we have industrial, cobots, service, humanoids. So now we will be dealing about the industrial. Industrial robots are heavy-duty machines that automate manufacturing processes at scale. So, nakikita natin itong mga industrial robots, of course, sa mga industrial na lugar. So, sa mga pabrika or yung mga paggawaan ng kotse, paggawaan ng mga materials, yan. So, kung saan madalas nagkakaroon ng mga repetitive tasks at mga heavy-duty jobs. So, kailan ba natin ginagamit yung mga industrial robots? So, minsan makikita natin or ginagamit natin yung mga industrial robots sa welding, cutting, and machine processes para ma-maintain natin yung quality while reducing the production time. So, para mas mapabilis natin yung production ng ating mga products. Okay? So, common din siya ginagamit sa mga assembly, painting, yun nga, welding, and handling ng mga heavy materials. Gaya nga sabi ko kanina, sa mga heavy-duty jobs siya ginagamit. Also in picking, sorting, packaging, and palletizing of products. O, syempre, ginagamit din siya sa mga, picking and sorting kasi nga, ito yung mga trabaho na nagkakaroon tayo ng mga repetitive tasks. Kumbaga, paulit-ulit lang yung proseso na ginagamit or repetitive process. So, kapag gagamit tayo ng mga industrial robotics, so, ang gagawin na lang natin is i-code natin dun yung task na yun. Yung robot, yun na paulit-ulit yung gagawin hanggang sa puno or matapos sila yung product na yun. We have cobots. Cobots are the machines designed to work alongside humans in our shared workspace. So, kailan ba natin ginagamit ng mga cobots na to? Cobots these are intended to work hand in hand with the employees. So, basically, yung mga cobots, ito yung mga machines na nag-a-assist sa atin sa ating workspace. So, depende sa kung ano yung pinagtatrabahuan mo. So, for example, sa mga kapag sa mga laboratory, mga laboratory or mga electronic laboratory parts, so doon may mga makikita tayo mga robots doon na may mga robots na may machine parts, okay, na nag-a-assist sa atin kapag may mga ginagawa tayong task. It is used in many cases such as performing repetitive tasks, yun nga, and or physically heavy tasks or kapag may mga binubuhat tayo. Kumbaga, katulad lang din siya ng mga industrial robots, ang pinagkaiba lang nila, mas pinaliit yung kanyang sakop. Kumbaga, sa workspace lang siya, hindi siya mga katulad sa industrial na mga malalaki or talagang mga heavy duty processes yung mga ginagawa nila. Dito sa cobots, ang mga simple lang naman, or basta yung mga repetitive tasks or pag-a-assist, mga ganun. So that other workers can focus. So kapag may cobots tayo, so nakakatulong siya to assist at ma-lessen yung mga dangerous tasks na gagawin ng mga tao. So next, we have service. service robots. So service robots are built to serve humans in either personal or professional setting. So obviously from the word itself or from the name itself, service, so yung mga service robots, ito yung mga nagbibigay sa atin ng assistance, okay, ng mga serbisyo or yung mga simpleng service na kinakailangan ng isang customer or ng isang professional or under the professional settings. So first we have so saan ba natin siya ginagamit or saan ba natin siya mostly makikita? So service robots can be used to carry out simple tasks such as examining, welding, as well as more complex, harsh environment tasks. So yun nga. So katulad ng mga nababanggit ko kanina, so syempre ang service robots ay tumutulong din siya para mapadali natin yung mga delikadong trabaho na ginagawa natin sa isang workspace. Okay? So as well para mas yun nga, so service robots, okay, common din siya ginagamit sa pagdidismantling ng mga nuclear power stations kasi of course it's nuclear, so delikado yung workspace natin doon. So kailangan natin maging maingat sa pagtatrabaho doon. So ngayon kung we will be dealing about for personal use, okay? So may kita natin itong mga service robots na to sa mga kapag may mga vacuum sa lawn mowing, okay? Sa mga pool cleaning. Yun yung mga commonly type ng robot na ginagamit for personal companion. And meron din tayong mga service robot na nag-a-assist ng mga elderly people. Next, we will be talking about the humanoids. So, humanoids built to resemble humans in both form and function. Saan ba natin ginagamit or saan ba natin nakikitang ginagamit yung mga humanoid robots? Of course, ginagamit natin yung mga humanoid robots for functional purposes such as interacting with human tools and environments. Okay? For experimental purposes such as study of bipedal locomotion or for other purposes. So, yun nga, ginagamit natin itong humanoids robots para mas may study pa natin yung parte ng katawan natin, okay? So para na rin makatulong siya sa pag-improve ng mga certain parts ng robots, okay? Now we will be talking about the three components or the three main components of a robot. So first, we have sensors. Sensors allow a robot to gather information about its environment. So commonly, ang sensor, ito yung nagbibigay ng senses. Okay? Ito yung nagbibigay ng senses sa robot na magbibigay ng command or ng idea doon sa kanyang control system kung ano yung gagawin niya. Okay? So next we have these effectors. So the effectors are the parts of the robot that actually do the work. So what do we mean by that? Ito yung mga makikita natin sa mga dulong part or sa mga most commonly sa mga kamay ng mga robots. So doon natin makikita kung ano yung purpose nila. So yung effectors, ito yung gumagawa ng mga specific tasks. So kunwari, kapag nakita natin ang dulo or ang hand ng isang robot ay pang-welding, of course pang-welding siya. Then kapag naka-claw naman, so of course pang mga pangbuhat siya or pagbibigay ng service. So lastly, we have these main components which we call control systems. Control systems are the brains part of the robot that determines the robot's behavior. So as said here, it is the brain itself of the robot. So ito yung nagbibigay ng decision kung ano yung magiging behavior ng isang robot. Okay? Control system regulate and command the functions of the robot in order to achieve the desired result. So, as I said, ito nga yung nagbibigay ng command para makuha natin yung resulta na kinakailangan natin sa isang robot or yung kanyang pinaka-purpose para magawa niya yung pinaka-purpose niya. Okay? So now we have these 4 types of manipulators used in industrial robots. So first, we will be talking about the manipulators. So ano nga ba yung manipulators? Manipulators are the arm-like structure of an industrial robot. Or pwedeng hindi na siya industrial, pwede din sa ibang types ng robots na nabanggit natin kanina. So basically, manipulators, so from the word itself, manipulate, so siya yung nagmamanipulate na magiging function ng isang robot. So gaya ng sinabi ko, for example, yung kamay ng isang robot ay hugis claw. So pwede nating isipin na yung robot na yan ay for pang-lift or pagbubuhat. Okay? So kapag ang dulo niya naman is pang-welding, of course, pang-welding part siya. So maraming type ng manipulators, pero ito yung mga common types na makikita natin. So first, we have the Cartesian. So sa Cartesian, it have a linear design and consists of 3 orthogonal axes, which are the X, Y, and Z. So sa Cartesian, it can be extremely beneficial for engineers that are looking to automate their work, the warehouse, improve their current system, or solve unique design challenges. So basically, itong Cartesian manipulator, ito yung mga common din natin nakikita sa mga 3D printer. Ito yung, yun nga, yung common din na kanyang movement is only X, Y, and Z axis lang. So next, we have the cylindrical. So cylindrical have a cylindrical workspace and consists of combination of a linear and rotational movements. So from the word itself, cylinder or cylindrical, okay, designed for small spaces lang siya. So often used in tight workspace. So yun nga, kasi yung motion niya lang kasi is pabilog or cylindrical lang. Okay? For simple assembly. Machine tending or coating applications due to compact design. So dun siya madalas ginagamit para ma-maximize natin or ma-minimize naman natin yung paggamit ng mga malalaking spaces, kasi syempre sa paggamit ng mga robots, so sa paggamit ng mga robots, kaya kailangan din natin i-consider kung gaano kalaki yung space na masasakop niya. Okay? So now, we will be dealing about spherical. So spherical, we have a spherical workspace and consists of a combination of a linear and rotational movements. So parang kagaya lang din siya ng cylindrical. Ang pinagkaiba niya lang is spherical. Yung movement niya is, of course, mas marami. Kumbaga, mas marami siya, mas nasasakop niya yung environment niya, yung movement ng kanyang mga niyang parts. So saan ba siya commonly ginagamit? So may kita natin yung mga gantong type ng manipulator sa mga kapag may need tayong i-survey. So for surveillance, for environmental monitoring, patrol, and underwater and planetary exploration. Bakit? Kasi nasasakop niya yung buong, or nakakasakop siya ng malaking part ng isang environment. So kaya dun siya commonly ginagamit. So katulad kapag kailangan natin i-study yung lugar ng isang planeta, for example, Mars. So may mga pinapadala nila dong remote controlled or mga robotic moon buggy, or basta yung mga robotic na yun, meron silang mga spherical parts or spherical manipulators, kasi kailangan na-obserbahan niya yung buong surrounding or yung kung ano yung nandoon sa planetang Mars. Okay? So now, we will be talking about the last manipulators. Okay? The articulated manipulator. So before we talk about that, so magbibigay lang tayo ng konting idea. So ano nga ba yung ibig sabihin ng articulated? So we have this thing we call articulated motion. So articulated motion are the jointed arms used to precisely express motion tasks by moving products, assembling parts, and operating tools. So, of course, ito yung articulated, ito yung mga nakikita nating commonly sa mga nakikita natin mga robotic arm na kung yung kanyang task or kung yung kanyang movement or yung motion ng kanyang robot is parang kamay. Okay? So may mga joints or may mga parts na nagagalaw siya. So now, articulated manipulators have a complex structure consisting of multiple joints, din nga, and links that allow for a wide range of motion. So ayan. So articulated motion are most flexible in industrial robotic configuration kasi nga yun nga, parang kamay kasi siya, kung baga mas nagagawa niya yung task precise or ng accurately ng mas mabilis dahil sa movement ng kanyang or yung movement ng robot na yun. So it is used in manufacturing industries for tasks such as assembly, welding, painting, packaging, and material handling. So kung ano yung mga sinabi ko kanina, doon siya commonly ginagamit. So now, ito nga ba yung pinaka-common na ginagamit na manipulator sa isang robot? Of course, ayun ay articulated robot. Okay? Articulated robot, the most common robot is the articulated robot. These are the most common industrial robots. They have an articulated arm which resembles a human arm, and they have joints similar to an elbow, shoulder, or wrist, but they can have up to 10 joints. So yun nga, mas na-maximize kasi natin yung spaces kapag yung robot natin is may movement na hindi siya nalilimitahan. Okay? So dahil sa resemblance niya sa human arm, okay? So mas nagagawa niya yung task or yung output na gusto nating mangyari.
Now onto the 3 types of programming methods for robots. The teach method, hand guiding, lead-through programming, and offline robot programming. The teach method or the teach pendant programming involves using a teach pendant to guide the robot through a series of points, allowing it to store them in memory. This method is intuitive, precise, and safe, making it preferred for programming industrial robots. However, it has limitation in the number of instructions it can issue. Next is the hand guiding lead-through programming. This method entails physically moving the robot arm to teach it how to perform a desired function. It's intuitive, safe, and suitable for complex tasks or movements, particularly for smaller collaborative robots. However, it lacks precision and isn't practical for larger industrial robots. And lastly, the offline robot programming. This method involves writing instructions on a separate system and using virtual models of the robot for testing before uploading the instruction to the robot's memory. It allows for more complexity, precision, and safety, but requires technical knowledge and isn't suitable for non-engineers. Next is the 4 types of control systems used in robotics. Sensors, eyes and ears of a robot. Sensors provide robots with information about their environment, including position, orientation, forces, pressures, vision, and touch. Actuators, the muscle of a robot. Actuators are responsible for the physical movement of the robot, including joint movements, locomotion, and gripping manipulation tasks. Controller, the brain of a robot. Controllers analyze sensor data, makes decisions, and send commands through actuators. They handle both low-level control and high-level control, often incorporating artificial intelligence algorithms. Software serves as the overall framework for the robot control system, managing communication, data, and user interface. It includes real-time operating systems for efficient task scheduling, middleware for communication between components, and user interface for human interaction. Mechanical configuration of industrial robots. When selecting an industrial robot, various factors need consideration, such as its purpose, speed, precision, and whether it will be a collaborative robot. Robot configuration is a major determinant on how a robot moves and its workplace limit. There are 6 primary types of robot configurations: Cartesian, cylindrical, spherical, SCARA, articulated, and delta. Cartesian. This configuration moves the robot's tools linearly along each Cartesian coordinates XYZ, creating a box-like work envelope, commonly used in applications like 3D printing. Cylindrical. This allows the tool to rotate around a central axis and moves towards or away from it, forming a cylindrical work volume, used in assembly, machine tool handling, and spot welding. Spherical. This configuration moves in a motion resembling a sphere, rotating around a central axis, another axis at 90 degrees to it, and moving back and forth along another axis. Commonly used in die casting, injection molding, welding, and material handling. Selective Compliance Articulated Robot Arm or SCAR. This configuration combines Cartesian and cylindrical motion using pivot points, allowing faster and easier movements, especially in arcs, used in assembly, palletizing, and biomedical application. Articulated. This is the most commonly pictured industrial robots, featuring at least shoulder, elbow, and wrist joints, used in assembly, arc welding, material handling, machine tending, and packaging. Delta or parallel. This configuration utilizes parallel linkages for fast tool movement, ideal for tasks requiring nimble and quick pick-and-place actions, such as sorting tasks. Categories of software for industrial robots. Offline programming. This allows programming industrial robots without physical connection, reducing downtime and improving programming quality. Simulators range from simple 2D to complex 3D simulations with realistic physics engines and environments, aiding in testing and programming robots. Middleware. It provides a framework for managing complex robotic systems such as Robot Operating System, acting as a software glue for integrating various components. Mobile robot planning involves path planners and obstacle avoidance algorithm for programming mobile robots, used in warehouse logistics and autonomous vehicles. Real-time path planning. More complex than basic path planning, it continually updates the program to respond to environmental changes, often specialized for specific types of robots. UAV drone control. Software for programming and coordinating unmanned aerial vehicles, used in various applications like agriculture, inspection, and security. Artificial intelligence for robots. Increasingly used to enhance robotic capabilities, with software focusing on specific application areas such as analyzing images in agriculture or coordinating mobile robot swarms in logistics. The quick advancement in robotics, Twitter or X posts like this 9 years ago is more likely to happen considering the capability of the robots that exist today. And if that's the case, next year is a year to look out for. And that's it. Remember to like and subscribe and hit the notification button for more robotics and electronics insight.